Amadeus.
Amadeus. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of the Decade Parade. I'm Liam.
And I'm Tim.
And for all of you guys who are joining us for the first time, basically what this podcast is about is that we look at games that came out 10 years ago, and we just compare them to today's standards of games, whether they still hold up or if it's even worth going back to.
But before we get into any of that, we'll just generally talk about what we've been up to.
What have you been up
to?
No, so we just been.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Let's tell me about you. Tell me about.
Yeah, just open up.
Tell me about the month of July in the life of Tim.
Well, not much, to be honest. Not much at all.
That's deep stuff. Yeah.
I don't think I've watched a few films.
Like what?
From years ago.
Like what?
I tried watching Spider-Man last weekend, and I went, and there was 2 seats on the front row left, and then I went.
Oh, the new one, yeah. I watched that the day it came out. It's really good.
Yeah, well, our babysitters didn't go in line with my schedule and went on holiday. So when I say babysitters, I mean grandparents.
Yeah, family.
But yeah, so I tried going last week, and 2 seats on the front row, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
I've only ever done that once. Bearing in mind, I'm tall as shit. When I went and watched the first It.
So you're all right in the front row then, because you're so tall. You're basically in line with the centre of the screen.
No, I basically had to watch the movie horizontally. I was that sloped down so I could stare up at the screen. Oh, by the end, my neck was killing me.
No, yeah, I'm gonna try again tonight. I think try and watch it again, but instead I watched Shazam.
Oh yeah. I actually really enjoyed Shazam.
Yeah, it was good. I think.
For a DC movie compared to the other ones.
I think most of the funny bits were in the trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. And then the other day I watched Aquaman, finally. Got around to watching that.
How is that? I've not seen that.
It's alright, actually.
Is it? Yeah. Are they finally getting the stuff together, DC?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's still it feels way off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still it's a good film, but then at the same time, I'm thinking, this is in the same literal time scale as stuff like Infinity War and Endgame and Spider-Man and basically everything Marvel. It's like there's
not been enough of a build up to flesh things out compared to how Marvel did it.
Well, exactly. It feels like they tried to do it. They released Justice League, which I've still not seen.
I've not either.
No,
I watched Batman vs Superman, but
I couldn't even get through it, to be honest. I turned it off about 20 minutes.
It was okay.
But yeah, it feels like they've tried to flesh out this universe like Marvel have done. And then they've give up on it because it wasn't working. And now they're just throwing out these random... And as standalone films, they are good.
Yeah. Haven't they basically said they're just scrapping all the previous movies right before Wonder Woman and then saying, this is this is the main stuff now?
I think so, yeah.
They rushed into it. They basically released, Superman. And then they went into, I think that was it. And then they went into Batman vs Superman. And then they pretty much went straight into Justice League. They rushed it with the first Avengers. We had 2 Iron Man movies, the Thor movie, Captain America, and I wouldn't count it, but people say that first Hulk movie, it counts. With
I count it.
Do you?
Yeah, it's in the first phase.
Well, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, that is technically the first MCU movie, but everyone thinks it was Iron Man.
Yeah, I know.
Man, they had all this fleshing out, and basically before they finally released the first Avengers with Justice League, they never had a movie for Flash or Aquaman, so they pretty much had and Cyborgs, so they pretty much had to talk. They had to waste time in the movie talking about what their deal was.
The problem with that is how many people are full on nerds about all these characters. I mean, everybody knows Batman and Superman and whatever, but the rest of them, for the most part, if you go before any of the films and stuff and the whatever come out and posters and everything everywhere, if you went up to most people in the street and said, "Oh, do you know who Aquaman is?" But nobody knows. But it's Endgame's not frigging topped the box office because everybody knew the characters from comic books.
Oh yeah,
they've done it because they've had 10 years of films building up to it, and everyone's got familiar with the characters through the films.
That's it. Yeah.
Anyway, that's that. But this is going way off.
Yeah.
I've not really playing much though in terms of games. More of just the general stuff, bit of Switch stuff, and
I read something you said the other day about how you finally went back on your PS4 after so long, and everything kind of went tits up.
Yeah, actually a bit of free time, and I thought, little one was asleep and whatnot, so I thought I'll go on PlayStation, get a bit of Days Gone, and I must have had a power cut at some point, so it had gone off standby mode. So then it hadn't done any updates. So when I first switched it on, it needed to rebuild the database. It needed to do a firmware update. It was only 500 megabytes, and it took about half an hour. And then when I finally got on, there was like a 20 gig patch for Days Gone.
Wow!
I was like, what's going on here? what even is this for?
I think
they've been adding like weekly challenges.
Oh,
so I think it's all that.
That built up, right?
Yeah, it's not fixes or anything. It's actual extra content. But I was like. So I ended up just putting Spider-Man on, and then just doing some of that DLC. To be honest,
that's summer sale. That's summer sales on PlayStation Network. I think that Spider-Man DLC is a part of it, like all three of them. I think I might finally get it because I've not got the DLC.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the base game. I never got around to getting the DLC.
Yeah, I got it, but I've not played any of it. Well, apart from yesterday.
Yeah. And even then, that was just because of the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Not gonna lie. After I watched the newest Spider-Man movie, I did want to go back home and play Spider-Man, especially that they added the two costumes as free DLC from the movie as well, which you can never go wrong with.
No. Anyway, what have you been playing?
Me?
Or doing, or watching, or...
Honestly, not much. Life's got in the way a little bit this month, so I've not really had much time. All I've really done is I've got back into playing Warframe again, because I sort of like had a bit of a 2-month break from it. I don't know why. It just felt like a bit like I just got to a point one day where whenever I thought of going back on it, it was just like, no, there's not really much for me to do on that right now, other than the stuff that I really just could not be bothered doing.
Yeah.
But then they had what's called TennoCon recently. That's basically like the E3, basically, when they talk about all this new stuff coming out. And they talked about this big new expansion coming out that's basically going to turn Warframe into like a kind of Sea of Thieves, but in space kind of thing. Like, if you ever got free time, I'd check it out. It's like, you wouldn't believe it was a free game, this. But yeah, after watching all that, I actually stayed up to watch it because it was in Canada, so it was over here at like stupid o'clock. But yeah, watching that, it really got me back into Warframe, so I've just been mainly playing that, really. Yeah, movie-wise, like I said, I watched Spider-Man. That's about it, movie-wise. TV-wise, watched that season 2 of that Happy. Don't know if you watched that.
Happy.
It's that one with like the imaginary friend floating about.
No.
It's like that. You know, watch that. No, it's so messed up.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Right. I might look at that one because I'm looking for stuff to watch at the minute.
It's like
saying that I've got loads of what to watch.
Yeah, I'm the same.
The missus won't watch anything that's grim, so I can't watch Stranger Things. Well, I say I can't. It's like
no, you can. Yeah, that's another thing I watched. Season 3 of Stranger Things. Did that in about the first week it came out. Really good.
Is it? I've heard it's miles better.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the second season was okay, but compared to the first season, it was like okay. But yeah, season 3 was definitely up there with season 1. Not as good, but just as good.
Yeah, that's good then. Yeah, because I absolutely love. I need to get into it. I need to finish freaking Better Call Saul as well. I've still
got the newest season of that to watch.
I've watched that in so many little bits. Like I'll watch a couple of episodes and then I'll just completely stop for about half a year. And then I go back to it, I'm like, oh, where was I up to? I need to rewatch it all, I think. I need to watch it from scratch. I absolutely I think it's so much better than Breaking Bad.
I do as well,
and there's a new season coming in there at some point soon. I think it's end of this year or beginning of next year, something like that.
I don't know.
I know it's coming.
I've not really been keeping up with what's been going on with Better Call Saul other than that new season that's out.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
I watched something good on Netflix last night, actually. It's just come out last week. It's a documentary film.
Is that Great Hack?
That's the one.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for that. It does look quite eye-opening.
Terrifying.
In terms of, like, is it?
Terrifying. I watched it. Me and Kirsty both sat on the couch straight away after, going through Facebook, literally deleting everything, deleting all our information off, going in the ad settings and like literally, no, you're not allowed. No, you're not allowed. Honestly, yeah, it's an eye opener. I was trying to convince, just delete your account. That's it. Get rid. I'd happily delete.
Just throw your phone away. Get it over with. I wonder why you were wearing a tinfoil hat when I came in here. No, it is quite scary. Like, it's kind of like why I enjoy living in ignorance, kind of. It's like, because once you hear about what actually goes on, it's a bit like,
I think I won't go into it too much, but yeah, it's what they don't say that scares you more than anything,
right?
Because you watch it all, and then it's still you don't really know what they've done,
right?
Because they're trying so hard to hide it. It's like they're pleading guilty to other things just so they don't have to reveal what they've actually got. And it's like, if you're that willing to, literally go out and plead guilty to these other things and whatnot, something must be really bad somewhere. But yeah, anyway, that's that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Unless you've got more.
No, I'm just trying to think about what big things have happened this month, like in general, not really between you and me, like big news wise.
I feel like there's something big.
There is, like we're not talking about it, and there's what few listeners we've got are currently like screaming at the media devices. Talk about it. You mentioned Marvel Endgame finally got the top of the box.
I think it's pipped it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's finally done it.
Yeah. Just wait till the re-release in a year or two, and then it'll just absolutely dominate.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
The actual phase, is it phase 4? Phase 4.
Yeah, they've talked about what movies are coming out for that now.
I keep looking at the list of all the bits and pieces, but some of them are TV series.
Yeah, there's that.
And I don't know which one. When I'm looking at it, I don't know which one's which. I wish somebody would just make a list. Right, this one's a film. This one's a TV series. I know Loki's a TV series.
Look at the logos. The one that's got the Disney logo on it, that's going to be the TV series, because they're all going on Disney's streaming
Disney
platform.
Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of those movies seem good.
I slated Disney. Well, not slated it, but I was like, I'm not really interested in Disney's streaming thing. But now they've put all this on, I'm like, can literally watch all the Marvel films, hopefully in 4K and everything.
But that's the annoying thing. There's too many streaming services these days.
Yeah, it's
just too many. Stuff is too split up. Like, some people get exclusive rights to this series, and you're not going to see it on another thing. So it's like, okay, I got to buy that, but I want to watch that. And it's like, all it's going to lead to if too much more comes out is that people are just going to just pirate it instead.
That's pretty much what people do.
Nice save.
I'm not saying who people, but people. No, but yeah, I get you, and I've seen loads of people actually saying that.
Yeah,
they've never had a problem with subscribing to Netflix and Prime, but now you've got Hulu and all that stuff.
Yeah, Hulu, ABC.
Especially in America, where you have like all the networks are doing it, but then over here we're going to be getting it soon with that telly box or TV box or whatever, which is a team up of BBC, ITV, and Channel 5, I think. And then I think Channel 4 initially didn't want to talk to them about it, but now that they've seen like what they're actually doing and they've announced it, apparently they're trying to get in on it as well.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
And I think that's going to be, so you already pay for a TV license, then you're going to pay for this on top for, and it's like, like, I ain't paying to watch reruns of Emmerdale. Mate, no, I'm not doing it. But
sad thing is, someone out there will, and that's just sad. I'm talking about you, Brenna.
But even ITV have already got the subscription on ITV Player or ITV Hub, whatever they call it.
Have they?
Yeah, you can pay an extra on top of it, so you don't get the adverts when you watch something on catch up. So it's already there.
Yeah.
I mean, with stuff like Stadia coming.
Yeah,
that's an extra thing. You've got your obviously online memberships for Xbox.
Yeah, PlayStation,
Switch.
Yeah.
Then you've got Epic Stores doing it. Even Discord's doing it.
Yeah.
They've got their own premium.
Twitch, you've got their own premium. Even though that's really just included in Amazon Prime anyway.
It's silly.
It's getting ridiculous. It's like,
I know you don't have to use them all. Blah, blah. Yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's segregating content.
It is. It's getting to that point where everyone's got like their own unique thing. It's like you feel like to get the most of like, especially if it's like related to something you enjoy, like a series you like. It's like you said, just getting this feeling of like everything's just split up, and you have to pay so much money to get like the full experience of what you enjoy. It's getting silly now. It really is.
But woe is life. First world problems.
Yeah, this is
too much content.
This basic shit. There's too much content and not enough money.
Anyway.
So yeah, moving on. Now that we've done a little chinwag about what we've been up to this month, as always, we're just going to go over what came out around about this time 10 years ago, game-wise, and just basically have a little chit chat of what we know about it. Which looking at this list, there wasn't. You can kind of see we did kind of struggle picking a game for.
This list that I made was actually a fair bit longer. There was just an absolute load of like arcade, Xbox Live arcade games and random DS games and stuff. And there was a lot, but I got rid of it most.
So these are the ones that we felt, well, not that we felt like were worth mentioning, but for us that we can at least say something about. So what we got? We got July the 2nd, we got The Punisher, No Mercy. Was it based on the comics or the Punisher movie that came out? I'm not entirely sure.
I couldn't say anything.
Yeah, Punisher. Did you ever watch The Punisher?
Nope.
No, I didn't either, but I heard... I don't know why, I always heard reviews pretty much slated it, but everyone who watches it loves it for some reason. And I don't know why. And it keeps making me think, like, should I watch it? Should I? But all these Marvel series on Netflix that are now cancelled, that just makes me feel like, is there any point to watching it now?
I mean, they're cancelled on Netflix because Disney's going to do it on the...
Well,
Disney
yeah, that's
Plus.
true, yeah.
They're just stripping it down. At what point in giving Netflix it when they've got making their own?
Their own thing, yeah.
They're going to dominate.
No, yeah.
I'd be worried if I was Netflix.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Not just because of all the Marvel stuff. That's just how big Marvel is.
Well, just to think how much Disney physically own, not just the Marvels. They've just bought Fox.
Yeah,
Technically, they've got all the Simpsons to put on there.
Oh yeah, true. Oh yeah, that's true. They can do Star Wars.
They've got Futurama. They've got a lot.
You keep forgetting that's not just Disney stuff that they do. It's all these other things that they own.
I know they own all these side little companies that are under different names, but it's all owned by Disney.
Disney, yeah.
They bought Lucas.
Yeah, I think Lucas has,
all
stuff. Star Wars, yeah. Scary. July the 3rd, Fuel. That was a good little. Was Fuel the one that had like the really massive open world that you can just drive about in?
Was it not like a MotorStorm?
I can't remember. I remember one driving game back in the day had like a really big open.
Was that not Crew?
No. It was like an open wasteland. So it was like I remember talking about it. It was like 60. It's like 60 miles long or something like that.
Might have been that.
I might be wrong, but I never played it myself, but I always did hear good things about Fuel. Did we do a second one for Fuel? Let's just consult our Google Assistant. Right.
Yes.
Yes, there we go.
They did. No.
No. Yes, no.
No.
Yes, no.
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 I can't see one. No.
There you go then. Sorry to disappoint you all. July the 7th, Arma 2. You've got more experience with this game than I have, so I'm going to let you...
I mean, you say more experience. I didn't play that much.
Well, you've got more than me, regardless.
Yeah, it's basically just a sim, army sim, military sim, so to speak.
Proper, like, realistic that they went for.
Yeah, they went quite over the top, and for that reason, I could never figure out how to drive tanks or anything.
I just remember playing it for the first time and just going like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's really good. There's some of the mods and stuff that come out of that as well. Obviously, I think it was
DayZ. Yeah. That was the big one. That's pretty much what kept Arma 2, when it came out, that's pretty much what kept Arma 2 at the top of the Steam charts for ages, just DayZ. But now, if you mention DayZ in today's modern age, everyone's just like, what? What the heck's that? Like, even they did like a proper game of it, didn't they?
Yeah, I'd argue that's what started the Battle Royale. Well, the trajectory for it.
Yeah, that's more what started like the open world survival stuff. I'd say, yeah. But then Battle Royale. What started Battle Royale? Was it PUBG or was it Fortnite? It was one of them.
I'd say PUBG. No, PUBG started it.
Started it, right? Yeah.
Because Fortnite was it was like a survival wave where you get waves, you build your base up and all that, and basically they sold it. And it was shit. Well, it weren't shit. Just nobody was interested.
No one was interested at the time.
I actually liked that. I played the beta of it before any Battle Royale stuff was out. And then obviously they saw how big PUBG was and...
Yeah, I just went from there.
Adopted that, put it out for free, and, well, the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah, Arma 2. I think that was... We were strongly considering that as our game of choice, but we sort of felt like we might not have had... much to talk about in terms
not
of...
it's a deep game.
That's what I mean, it's a deep one.
It would have taken a fair bit of time to properly get used to it and get through it, and it would have... I would have
plus, I think we felt...
I already own it, so...
Plus, I think, didn't we say, like, for like the story-wise bit of it, we wouldn't really have had anything to say. It would have just been gameplay.
Pretty much, yeah, but saying that, so's Trine, but... Yeah.
No, it's got more than that.
Anyway, moving on.
Tell me to spoil the surprise. Moving on, Tales of Monkey Island. Tim, I'm passing this one to you. Again.
Absolutely fantastic.
Was Tales the one?
Tales
obviously, yeah. Tales.
Tales was done by, fucking hell, what are they called?
They are called...
What were they called?
They are called...
Formerly,
before they broke up, they were...
oh my God, what are they called?
Telltale.
It's literally half the names, though.
I was going to call them the guys who made The Walking Dead.
Yeah. So they got the license from Lucas at the time to make one Monkey Island game. So this was theirs, and this was before they did Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm. This was like theirs.
How they went from this to Walking Dead. Not that Walking Dead's bad.
No, that's what made them as popular as they were.
Honestly, it's that I think is still it's definitely not up there with Monkey Island 3 or anything, but it's a brilliant Monkey Island game considering it's not the original team or somebody else adapted it and whatnot.
Yeah,
still a brilliant Monkey Island game.
I only ever played I've got all 5 episodes, but I think I only ever played the first episode.
Yeah,
never carried on with it.
Yeah,
don't know why. It was like I said, it was just as funny as I've only ever played Monkey Island 1 and 2, but it was just as funny as
Yeah, they did a really good job keeping the whole feel of it and everything, like you said, the humour that's actually in Monkey Island and stuff. Yeah, it's really, really good. If you're into those point and clicks from yesteryear, and you've missed that one, especially because I know a lot of people didn't even consider this one.
No,
or completely just missed over it.
I mean, in terms of like a game, or in terms of a Monkey Island game?
Yeah, in the franchise,
right.
The Monkey Island franchise.
Yeah, I can imagine why.
It's always looked over, but yeah, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, moving on, we got The Bigs 2.
Baseball.
I'm not going to sing that song again. Yeah, it's baseball. It's
that's it.
It's just American cricket. Let's be honest. It's American rounders. Yeah. Sports games outside of Fight Night, I can't really talk about.
No, that's it. Let's leave that one there. It's meant to be good, but yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Then we got Battlefield 1943. Yeah. Going back into the.
Did you play this?
I played I think they did a beta for it when it came out.
It was
I think
brilliant.
Like a multiplayer beta. I think I played that for about an hour or two.
It was fantastic.
I know it was because
it was the dogfighting, wasn't it?
Yeah,
over the islands.
Yeah, wasn't it around this time that they started doing Battlefields like more modern and stuff, like Bad Company and Battlefield 3?
Yeah.
So it was a nice little throwback to like pretty much what made Battlefield great.
I think that this was an add-on from.
Was it? Was that just like its own little digital-only little cheap project?
I think it was, but I think they built it off. I want to say Bad Company 1 or 2 or 1. One of them two. I'm sure they built it off that as a side thing.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I might be completely wrong.
We usually are.
Yeah, but anyway, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
No, from what I can remember, it was. I've seen loads. Wasn't 1943 that video where that guy was in a plane and he did like a loop-de-loop where he jumps out the plane and snipers someone and then he manages to land back in the plane as it comes down?
I don't think it was this. You couldn't get out the plane.
Oh, could you not?
No,
right, that's probably one of the older ones then.
I think once you was in the plane, you couldn't get out of it like you could in the normal Battlefield. Whatever.
Yeah, moving on. We got 3 games in one day, July the 8th. So it was Battlefield 1943, then Little King's Story. I think wasn't that like a sort of like a Pikmin style game, like similar to Overlord. Not Overlord. Was it Overlord? Yeah. Well, we talked about it last
yeah.
month. Pretty sure it was Overlord.
I thought it was like another point and click.
Was it?
No, I think you're right. What you're saying, yeah. I'm thinking
it's going to be one or the other. It was for the Wii. Yeah, I did hear good things about that. Never got into trying it because it was back in the day when I had limited money and Nintendo games were always like, even today, like so expensive. Like they never went down in price ever. Like the first party ones, especially. Like even today, Zelda and Mario are still about £50.
Yeah, I mean, if you wait a bit, for some of the ones that aren't selling as well, they do drop them to £30. But even still, £30 for like Splatoon 2, whatever. Yeah. That's been out since the launch of the Switch. It's like, come on.
I mean, if you look at like that new Rage 2, that only came out like 2 months. That came out in May, and even that's like £15 now.
Bah, Nintendo, they're in their own little world.
They dominate anyway, so they can do whatever they want.
Exactly. You can't get them anywhere else, and you don't buy a Switch or a Nintendo console for third-party games
no.
So they know you can.
Even though they do make really good like Switch exclusive third-party games, like no. I think No More Heroes is a third-party one. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It was a Wii exclusive, but I don't think it was a first-party one. Yeah, moving on. Wipeout HD Fury. Can't go wrong with Wipeout.
No. Yep, that's that. Fantastic.
You all know what Wipeout is. We don't need to talk about it. Futuristic car racing, light speed, very very similar to Tron, kind of. I always get Tron vibes from it when I play it.
Yeah.
Another one, Wii Sports Resort. What gear say about Wii Sports Resort?
What a banger.
What a fucking it was, banger. Yeah. Like, oh god, like I feel like most people did probably buy the Wii just for the Wii Sports games.
The Wii Sports Resort,
like the more casual crowd, anyway.
Definitely, they come with it. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, like, god, the amount of time me and my dad spent like playing like the tennis game on it, because there was always a point where you'd get to because you couldn't really move your characters by like individually, so there was always a point where they both end up getting so close to the net that the ball just go like, so you both just swinging like a madman. And like you couldn't control how they jump as well, so like if the ball went too hard, they automatically jumped as well to hit it. So you'd both pretty much be like up in the air, just hitting the ball for like a full 10 seconds. It was always funny. Like it never got old. Oh man. Now moving on, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, A New Age of Heroes. Was that just like a updated version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, or was it like its own little game?
It says Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, so it might have been like
I don't think it's a fully fledged one.
No, it might have just been like a HD version.
I should have deleted that one.
Yeah, probably.
Next, Puyo Puyo 7.
What did you add this? I don't know what this is.
I thought Puyo Puyo was a big game.
Obviously not.
There's 7 of them.
It's obviously not. We don't know what it is. Hey. It was for the Nintendo DS. That's not that much.
Next up, if this was still live, the servers were still live for this next one, I probably would have done this one for this month.
I would have recommended it as well.
Fat Princess.
Great little
fantastic
little multiplayer, like what would you describe it?
It's like King of the Hill.
It's the objective was always like kidnap someone else's princess. So like, and you had like different classes and stuff. You had like knight, mage.
I can't remember the exact mechanics of it. Obviously, yeah, you've got your different classes and stuff that you can play as or whatever. But the mechanics of feeding the princess the cake. Did you have to feed the opposite teams or your princess?
Yeah,
so she was heavier to move.
Yeah. So she was harder. So it needed more people to move.
Yeah,
that was the objective. Like go out, find food. And like, I think couldn't you like cut down wood and stuff as well to make like defenses and stuff.
Stuff like yeah. It was brilliant.
It was like I only played the beta of it, but oh man, I loved it so much. Like it had such like charm and character to it as well. With the graphics and like how they did the characters. They never taught like normally. They had like little stupid like sim like language in it. Where it's like how many here. Well, yeah, it's such a shame they never went. Did they ever do anything more with that?
They did another one, a spin-off, not spin-off. I think they did a sequel on the PS4.
Did it?
But it was like, it weren't like a Fat Princess 2. It was Fat Princess something. I think it was different gameplay.
Right.
I'm sure it was like a 4-player co-op thing.
Interesting. I can see why why they never went any further with it after that.
Yeah.
And then last one, Watchmen, The End Is Nigh Part 2. Didn't the first part 1 come out in like, when we talked about it in like episode 3 or 4, didn't we?
I can't remember.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it in like one of our little looking back at the games bit in one of our previous episodes. I think, but yeah, Watchmen, I remember hearing it was like a good little, I'm just repeating what I said last time. It was a good little like beat 'em up, like kind of, what's it called? Twin Dragons, but like 3D kind of like thing. Yeah. I don't think they ever went further after part 2. Yeah, it was good because it took a lot of like imagery from like the movies, but it never actually copied the story of the movie.
Still never watched the movie.
Oh, the movie's so good.
Yeah,
like it's definitely one of the better, like outside of like Marvel, like one of the better like unique like superhero ones.
Better than Scott Pilgrim.
Ooh, they're both good in different ways.
I have no idea why I said that, but yeah. Would you class that as a superhero?
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Am I thinking of Superbad? I think I'm Superbad.
I've never seen Superbad.
Oh, Kick-Ass. I'm getting so many.
Kick-Ass, that's the one, yeah.
What's Superbad?
Superbad's, expect them high school kids.
It's the same kid in the films, isn't it? Well, not the main character, but that lad. He's in everything, and he does the same character.
What, Michael Cera?
That's the one, I think it is, yeah.
I've never seen Superbad, so I can't speak for that.
I think he's in that with like Seth Rogen and stuff in it.
Mm.
Yeah. they all cross over. They're all the same shit. But no, Kick-Ass I was on about.
Yeah, Kick. No, I would say Watchmen's better than Kick-Ass, to be honest.
You fucking what?
Have you seen both of them?
What the fuck did you just say?
Turn the mic off now.
Have I seen both Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've only ever seen the first one, so I don't know why I didn't watch the second one because that's got like Jim. Don't make that face at me.
I like it. Yeah, I like those films, but I've never seen Watchmen, so I can't comment. And there you go. That is the wrap up for 10 years ago.
Shit away. Just throw that shit in the bin.
Shit.
Right. Fucking sick of this podcast. I'm just kidding. I love you, Ged.
Right. Moving on. We're getting on to the topic, the game, the pinnacle of this episode, which is
time for the big surprise reveal. Drum roll, please. What is it, Tim?
Trine.
Woo!
There you go.
Worst kept secret in fucking history. So yeah, Trine. Let's talk a little bit about Trine. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah. First and foremost, I did like it. I couldn't honestly, like, for what it was, I could not find much wrong with it for like what it was going for. Yeah, Trine developed a little game.
Did you buy it?
Yes. I didn't pirate it. Why? What do you...
No, I just mean, did you already own it, or did you?
Oh, right. For some reason, I own Trine too, but not the first one. But we had that Steam sale.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like,
I was going to buy it anyway. Yeah, I was going to buy it the day before, and it was like a tenner.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then the day after, I thought, no, I'll leave it. I don't need it just yet. I've got plenty of time. Like, play it. And then the day after the Steam sale come on, and it was like, what was it, like £8 for all 3 games, something like that, something daft. And I was like, hey,
really? Yeah, it's a good time.
So yes, I did buy it. I did not pirate Trine.
So as we were saying, there's a little game developed by a company called Frozenbyte. I've not really heard about anything else they've done.
No.
Yeah, published by, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, I don't know if it's Nobilis or Nobilis. I want to say it's Nobilis because that's a funnier name.
Yeah, say that, but I think it's Nobilis.
But in this, our little wacky, we're going to call it Nobilis. Our American listeners are going to be like, why is that funny?
Yeah. What?
Why is anything we say funny?
It's not. It's funny to us.
But yeah, it was a nice, interesting little physics-based platform, like puzzle type game with a bit of like co-op elements in it as well, because it did have a multiplayer to it, didn't it?
It did.
It did only have not online, sorry, like couch co-op to it.
They did.
But when it did this enhanced one, that's when it added the online aspect to it.
I'm sure I saw an option for online.
No, yeah. Okay, but we both, bear in mind, we both played the enhanced edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he just basically took the graphics engine from Trine to made the first one look nicer, and as I said, they added the online co-op element to it.
Oh, isn't that nice?
He did lovely. He did nice. Apparently, looking back at the history of it for Frozenbyte, this was Trine was only like being worked on as like a little side project.
It's turned into a pretty big side project.
Yeah, but like I said, they never mentioned what the other game they were working on was called, but as they were working on that, they were doing Trine as like a little like, yeah, we'll do this and then we'll crack on with it properly one day. But I think getting funding for the other game was going a bit downhill, basically. So they basically went, right, let's just scrap that and just carry on working with Trine. And it's a good thing they did, because I think even today, like all 3 Trine games together have sold like 7 million copies.
Really,
yeah. So
I know there's a 4th Trine coming.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like, when is it coming? Because they're not saying anything about it really.
And they go, no, you know why? Because it's quite a great selling game. It was well received as well. Got a lot of positive reviews. It was pretty much universal. Like everyone loved it. Wow, is this going to be the first game where we just don't absolutely chat shit about it?
I think it is.
Oh my God, what is happening? This is going to be such a dull podcast.
I know, if you like listening, because we just slag games off, and then at the end say that we liked it anyway.
Yeah.
This is the opposite. We'll say, yeah, it's really good, but don't bother playing it.
Yeah. We're trying up a new formula, yeah. But it did sell really well. It was well received. So yeah, it's probably a good thing that they didn't carry on with whatever that original project was, and they decided to focus on this instead. So good on you, Frozenbyte.
Have they ever said what the original project was, or did
they may or may not have?
Now they've made money.
Yeah, they may or may not have. I'm not too sure. I didn't look into it.
Okay, fair enough.
So starting off like we usually do, performance-wise, both played on PC.
No problems. I think the only, I say only, it was a tiny little thing. When I tried to put all the settings to max and whatnot, and all the anti-aliasing and stuff on PC.
Did you say the anti-aliens?
Anti-aliasing.
That was a big thing we didn't mention. This Area 51 thing. How it's fucking took off.
God damn it.
Right, forget all this. We're going back. We're going back to no.
We're not going into Area 51.
How did we forget that?
Not yet. Next month.
Decade Parade meets up.
It's September, innit?
September 20th.
September's podcast. We will have our alien.
We will. He'll be our special guest.
Yep.
Oh, no, we'll be doing the podcast from outside Area 51. Like, and they're all charging in now, Tim. Oh, wow, it's a bloodbath.
Right, back on topic. I'm not going into this. Jesus.
Oh, there's so much I want to say. Oh, man. Yeah, performance-wise with your anti-aliens, what were you saying?
Anti-aliens? I'm not anti-alien. I'm not racist.
Goddamn illegal aliens.
No, but yeah, when I tried to put the settings absolute max through everything, it was dipping below 60 frames a second, which I was surprised, considering it's just a 2D side-scrolling.
Bearing in mind, it's very physics-based, though. So.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely, yeah. But even still, it's a 10-year-old game. I would have expected it to run at 60 frames a second.
Bearing in mind, it is 10 years old, but we did play the upgraded Enhanced Edition, which I'm not too sure when that came out.
It's still, though. It's still a 2D side. I mean, Far Cry...
It's still an oldish game, yeah.
Far Cry's got physics in it, essentially.
Yeah.
And I can play that, no problem, whatever. But, yeah, I mean, it was such a minuscule thing. Yeah. I still had the resolution at 4K and blah, 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 and all the rest of it. I literally just dropped it one notch to the next thing.
Just to make it, just to hit that sweet 60. It was the same for me. Pretty much reasonably, like, almost maxed out settings, no problem, no screen tearing, nice, smooth, flowing gameplay. Controls, no problem with them. Dead easy to use. I played on a controller as well, so...
yeah, same.
Considering it was like a side scroller, like platformer, it was like no problems at all. So yeah, performance wise, I personally can't knock it down for anything bad.
No.
So 1 point for you, Trine.
Yes.
Yeah, moving on. Oh yeah, it was released in 2009 as well, obviously, but then it was only on PC. But then I think they released the PlayStation version like a few months later, and then they started releasing it for like Linux and all this like years later as well.
When they actually realised people like it, and then they just start putting it on everything.
Which is fair, because it was like by a company that not a lot of people had. I say this, but they may or may not have, but like not a lot of people knew about. It was like a new IP, so it was a good thing that they probably only released it on PC and not try to make it multi-platform at first. But yeah, now Trine 4's coming out, it's like, oh yeah, it's for PC, it's for Xbox, it's for PS4, it's for Stadia, it's for...
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on to the story.
Story.
What have you got to say about the story, Tim?
No fucking...
It is very typical fantasy tropes kind of story.
Fairy tale.
Yeah.
Kind of like...
It's pretty much textbook almost.
So, I've made like points, but... Just run over it. Basically, there's three heroes. They call them three heroes. We'll go into them a bit more whenever.
Hopefully during this podcast.
next week at some point.
We'll save it for the next podcast.
Yeah. So the king dies, basically.
Yeah, he dies without an heir. Yeah.
I said her then.
He dies. He's died. He's the bald king.
Yes. I'm not even going down that road. Fuck's sake.
So he dies without an heir.
Yes. And because of that, shit happens.
Yeah. It's a political nightmare, and the kingdom's in chaos.
And these undead rise and basically ruin the kingdom. I can't remember exactly what happens because there's three going into stones again, infinity stones.
Infinity stones.
No, it's not that. But there's three stones in that rule like different parts.
Yeah,
basically keep the kingdom and the world in peace and whatnot, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and each one was signed to like a unique guardian as well.
Yes, and one of them gets separated, which is the souls. It's the souls one, isn't it?
The soul stone.
The soul stone. It is the soul stone. See, I'm getting confused now, thinking, am I talking about the right freaking franchise here? Am I not?
Then final short, no.
Well, not far off.
So these stones come together, yeah.
Yeah. So they use the three heroes end up coming across this treasure,
Yeah, they both, all three of them end up at this stone for different reasons. So you've got, they have names, but
so there's Zoya. Is it Zoya? Is that you?
I don't know. I didn't even know they had names until I just saw that.
She's a thief. I mean, obviously, when the kingdom's gone into ruin, she goes to the castle because she thinks it's a good place to
it's got opportunity,
steal stuff while there's nothing really going on there. Well,
about the characters never referred to, as far as I know, by the names in the game. They're just pretty much called the thief, so on and so on.
But then there's the next one is Amadeus, which is he's a wizard. Amadeus. Amadeus.
Sorry about that.
He's basically a wizard, and he was already in the castle.
He had been knocked out for like a fortnight because he's basically he's kind of like a hustler kind of. He can do wizard things, but what was it? He was trying to create like a fireball potion.
He was trying to create a fireball potion that backfired, and it knocked him out for a fortnight apparently.
There you go.
So he had a good sleep. He had a good rest before this.
Before shit went down, which is good because he is pretty old anyways. So.
Yeah, that's true. Then there's Pontius. He's the knight.
He was pretty. Wasn't he in like one of the royal guards or something? He basically took it upon himself to.
Basically, yeah.
He basically thought like, oh, everything's going wrong. It's my time to shine. I'll go and protect everyone.
Yeah, so that's why he was in the castle.
Yes,
and that's when they all stumble across this treasure
called the Trine.
Trine. Yeah, there you go. That's why it's called Trine.
Yeah, and all three of them touch it, and it basically connects all three of the souls together.
Yes,
as one. And they become as one.
Yes, that is true. That's what happens. And then you can. That's basically the premise of the whole game, really, isn't it? That you can switch between these three characters.
Or if you play multiplayer, you can play as like one character each.
Yes, and then whichever one's available, you can switch between whoever.
Yeah.
The extra one, obviously. They're not just going to lock one out. But yeah, so then they all like decide that they have to go and try and break this spell, break this bond between them to separate
them. Yeah, you'll have to talk about the story from this point because that's pretty much all I got
really?
To. Because I never finished the game. I only got like halfway through.
Fucking amateur! You only started playing it this morning. Fucking amateur!
I told you life had got in the way.
It's like 3 hours long.
It was a very short game.
I bet it's on mobile. I bet you could have played it on your mobile.
If I started playing it yesterday, I would have been finished. To be honest,
easily. Anyway, that's bad. It's not like there's a massive thing to talk about anyway.
No,
it's all a lot of it's all in the gameplay and stuff.
You did pretty much get the gist of what you were in for like the first like 3 levels.
I can't remember exactly. I've missed that point, but basically the other 2 stones get used, which is the other 2 things, gems or whatever they call them, the body and the mind gems, and they get used. Like they get purred, like they're supposed to be purred within the Trine and whatnot, and then it all keeps the peace within the kingdom and all that kind of jazz. But because they use these 2, apparently it makes this big bloody nightmare tower. You've not seen that bit. This is like towards the end.
It sounds like I missed out on all the good stuff.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah, that's it. And this is where like all the undead and stuff are coming from, and that's what it's the big power that of. The bee power and all that. I don't know what I'm talking about now. No, but it makes this tower, this undead tower, and that's basically the premise. You've got to get to that with the stone, and then you've got to make them all the 3 stones back together, which will break the spell of everything.
And did we do it?
Guess what?
What?
They did.
Wow.
Yes. It's a surprise, I know, but that's why they're called the heroes.
My God. It all comes together.
The 3 heroes. But that's pretty much the premise of the story, to be honest. And then at the very end, it gives you some things that they went on to do afterwards, which I'm not even going to bother reading because it's not that exciting.
All right. Well, it's good because it gives a bit of fleshing out.
I know. I'll tell you what. I will. Pontius gives in to his true passion and becomes the new King's Royal Ale provider.
Sounds like my dream job.
Yep. Zoya is given reign over the forest ruins. So she just lives in the forest.
Not much of a thief, but going on.
Amadeus gets married. What? He's like 80
or something. But he was, like his whole shtick, that he was like a womanizer as well. Like he flirted with every woman. So why did he want to get married?
He's saying that he's a wizard. He lives forever. So I'll read the rest of it. Amadeus gets married to a lady called Margaret, obviously.
Margaret,
who gives birth to triplets that master the fireball as infants.
Yeah, that was one of the things that like every wizard should know how to do the fireball spell, but for some reason
he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it, which is why developed that potion which knocked him out in the first place.
But now his triplets can.
I think what's more impressive, like, that he can't do a fireball or that he can create fucking boxes out of nothing. I think that's a bit more impressive.
Yeah, well, anyway, we'll move on to the actual gameplay and stuff now. That's the story.
Story.
Spoilers.
A bit late now. Yeah, like I said, everything, like, the story was very, like, everything about it was typical. Like, even, like, with the characters, it was, like, the knight was, like, the stupid, like, not stupid, but he was portrayed as, like, you know, the kind of, like, the goofy, like simplistic. That's what I'm going for. The simplistic one. Like, he just wanted to hit things. And
basically, the grunt.
Yeah.
Brute,
it was all very, like, typical archetype of, like, the characters. Like, the wizard was, like, the wisecracking, like, clever one, and the thief was like she didn't take no nonsense. She was basically there to keep the other two in line. Basically, it's very typical fantasy adventure characters, really, which is a shame because from what I played, is like there wasn't really any, like, cutscenes like that really, like, fleshed the characters out. You know, like give them a bit of, like, interactivity between the two of them. I mean, between the three of them. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was all pretty much just about, like, what they needed to do. So it didn't really give much, like, personality to the characters. Like, it all made all of them seem like very
individual,
like single, like, track minded. Yeah.
Once she was playing as one, it was like the others don't really exist. Which I suppose that's the idea of it.
That is the theme.
They are literally merged as souls and whatnot, so there is only one body at a time. So it kind of, unless you're playing co-op, and then that kind of ruins that whole.
It's the whole point, like the whole theme.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. There could have been a bit more actual, like, what would you call it? Building between the actual characters, relationship building and stuff like that.
Just character building in general.
Yeah, just the narrative was read
by a narrator.
The story was read by a narrator, but it was, like, after the fact. He was reading, you know, in hindsight and stuff like that. So
yeah, he basically talked about, like, what they did next. He never talked about, like, stuff going on between the characters and stuff like that.
And that was one of my biggest problems with this game, to be honest. I've got two big problems. Well, one big problem, which is this. A lot of the narration was in the loading screen.
Yes.
Again. They did this a lot back then, and I never realised until going back now. And then you're just running around, a lot of it, well, in between and whatnot. It would have been cool if they'd put, like, as you're playing through each level, the actual narration points as certain things happen. While you're playing it. I thought that would have been, but again, it bugs me.
It's not a massive deal.
No, it's not a massive thing, but playing it now on the hardware that we've got now, especially, you know, I'm playing it on an SSD and whatnot, you know, the game loads within a second, and it's like, what do? I'm so used to just skipping load screens as soon as it loads. It's just automatic.
Yeah.
And then I'm missing the story. It bugs me. It should be in the game while you're playing, as far as I'm concerned, but yeah. It was what they did to flesh out load screens, I suppose, back then when they were longer.
Well, yeah, you couldn't just give people a blank screen anymore with a bit of rides on it. You had to give a bit more of interactivity.
Some twirling icon in the corner.
Speaking of interactivity, that's one thing I did like. How before you, like, when the game first loaded up, before you press start, you got given that little, like, little area to play about before you press it, which is just it's nothing major. It's just a nice little tidbit.
I didn't know what was going on at first. I'm like, has it just put me straight in the game?
Literally, within 10 seconds of starting, it put you straight in the game.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, do I just go from here?
Okay. There wasn't even that much to do. Like, especially when you played as the knight, it was pretty much more for just it was the thief to swing around. Really,
it was like a test screen, wasn't it? For get familiar with each one.
Yeah, there was a couple of. Without going into it too much, there was like a couple of boxes you could lift up, and like I said, there wasn't much for the knight to do. No. Like, his shtick is just fighting things, so there wasn't anything for him to do. Yeah. So it was more for the other two. But yeah, just a little thing that was nice. Story, for what little there was, like, the banter between the three of them, like, during the game, I thought was pretty funny, mainly from the wizard. Yeah,
the small bits that were actually going on. It was at the beginning of each level, pretty much, wasn't it? There was nothing else for the rest of it.
No.
At the beginning of each level, they were talking and stuff, but yeah, it was good.
There was a bit of banter, so what little there was, it was good. But like I said, like we were saying, there could have been more to just give these characters a bit more fleshing out. Like, literally from the start, like as you played as a wizard, like, one of the first things he said when he walked up was like, oh, buy my trousers, what's going on? Yeah, I think that's it for story. Just typical fantasy stuff. Nothing award winning there. You definitely would not play it for the story, I'd say. But not in a bad. Not that it's bad. It's good enough to keep the things moving along, but you wouldn't play it for just the story.
No.
Yeah, moving on. going into the main bit now, the gameplay. Woo, yeah. So as we said before, this was a physics-based platform puzzle game. So what did you think of, now that you know what kind of game it is, how did you think the gameplay?
Going into it, I thought it was more puzzles than combat. I was surprised how much combat there was actually in there. It felt more like 3/4 combat.
No, yeah, but because the combat was so simplistic.
Oh no, I'll tell you that. It felt like half combat, 1/4 just navigating around, and then another quarter of just puzzles. It felt like a lot more combat, considering I thought this was a puzzle game, and a lot of the premise of, you know, like you say, it's physics based and stuff like that. Considering it is pretty like solid on the physics, I would have expected a bit more puzzles and stuff in there. Saying that, there's like an RPG element and whatnot.
There is leveling up, yeah.
Yeah, and you unlock certain skills and extra bits and pieces and stuff like that. You collect the green vials, little bottles.
Yeah, experience bottles,
yeah,
I call
them. Yeah, experience, basically. I didn't really search for... Like, if I saw one, I tried to get it. If I couldn't get it, like, quick or whatever, I kind of, like, just left it. And it's probably where a lot of the puzzle, you know,
was based around,
was based, yeah. So I think if I'd have done more of that, actually exploring every nook and cranny and whatnot, and trying to get to certain ledges and stuff, then I probably would have felt a bit different.
Yeah,
I don't mean it in a bad way.
No, that would have.
To be honest, I enjoyed the combat.
No, that would have fleshed out the gameplay a lot more if you actually go and collect all these little collectibles instead of doing what I did and just try and rush through it. Because obviously, in the 3-4 hours I played it, like this morning that I played this game, if you do just prioritize, just you know, trying to progress without having to go out your way to collect all these little collectibles, like pretty much every level's over within like depending on how quick you solve the puzzles and stuff, like within at least like 15 minutes, like 15 and half an hour. Like I think there's about 15 chapters altogether, and like I think there's like a bonus one as well. I don't know, but yeah, if you didn't.
All in all, it took me about 4 hours.
Yeah, it is a short game, but it's not an expensive game either. So even when it came out, I think it was only like £12, something like that.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
No.
When it first came out?
Yeah, when it first came out, I'm sure it was about 30.
Really?
So 20, 25, 30 quid. So I watched a video like from back, like a review back whenever when it came out, and they were saying, "Oh, like it's a short game, so some people will begrudge paying the price tag of." It was in dollars, so I think it might be like $30, so it might have been like 20 quid over here or something.
So I don't remember it being that expensive.
But at the time, there wasn't many of these side-scrolling things anyway. Like now, obviously they've all come back, and especially of this caliber, where the visuals and everything were so. I mean, I think it still looks absolutely amazing now, to be honest.
It does. Like, again, we play the enhanced edition, but I think the first one, like on PC, still would have looked great.
But the visuals of everything, like the backgrounds, really tie in well with the actual theme.
It does,
the
like
narration and the story.
Yeah, every level has like its own little like unique theme to it.
Really,
like each one does look like very graphics wise, it all looks good and well designed, and artistic wise.
If it had never existed and they put this out now, it'd still be perfectly. It'd still be spot on.
Yeah. I say we're talking about gameplay. We're not even talking about like really what you do, like what you do gameplay wise.
Yep.
As we mentioned, you got 3 characters. You got the thief, the wizard, and the knight. Each one can do like their own things. Starting off with the easiest one, the knight. He's basically there to like he's the
combat.
The other 2 are capable of combat, but not as good as the knight is.
I wouldn't even say the wizard is really. I mean, I tried to make boxes sometimes, and then just you can move it around.
I just kept dropping it on people's heads. Yeah. It was never not funny. The knight, he gets doesn't he get different weapons and stuff as well?
Yeah, later on he gets a big sledgehammer.
Yeah, he starts off. Sorry, go on.
I think when you level that up as well, I think you can it's like Thor. It's like got lightning. So you hold the charge and then you smash it down, and then a big bolt of lightning with a shockwave comes down. It's pretty good actually.
No, is it? He starts off with the puzzle and shield, the sword and shield, and basically, obviously, he uses a sword to attack people, but he can use his shield to like get past them. So usually just fireballs coming at you, usually, at least in the first half of the game. But sometimes you can use it to deflect arrows as well. But he does get an ability. you start off with like a set abilities, but as you progress, each character gets like different abilities that'll help you with the platforming and the puzzles as you go along. Mm-hmm. And one of the ones that he got, what was it, magnetic shield?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, but you can attract or repel.
Yeah.
Which is really helpful.
Yeah, because, no, it was pretty funny because you can use it to like pick up like solid chunks of metal and aim at an enemy and just launch it at them.
Yeah, because sometimes you get big spike balls that are coming towards you. You can literally stick it to your shield, and then when an enemy comes, you just blast it towards them and it just clears them. Like, it's, good fun. Good fun.
Then we got the Thief. She was out of the three. She was probably the one I played the least, to be honest.
Really, I think I played it most.
Did you?
Yeah, I mainly played. How I got around.
We're getting into it. I played as the wizard, but I'm not going to tell you why just yet. Yeah, basically the Thief's shtick is that she's got like a grappling hook that lets her obviously like shoot it, connects to like a. Is it just wood that she can connect to, like wooden platforms?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, so she connects to that. She can use it to like lift herself up and down, swing across gaps and stuff like that.
I think the swinging's a bit.
It is. It doesn't clunky. Feel like. Yeah, it is. It does not feel like you're swinging properly.
Because there's points where you have to, when you swing up, you have to let go, and then kind of like swing back on yourself, and then on whatever you've just say. If it's just a straight post, you've got to land on that post. But I think the physics didn't really work well there. I don't think they did that right. Well, not that they didn't do it right. I don't think they did it so it felt right.
Yeah.
Because it kind of just like stuck you in mid-air. Whereas if you're swinging round and you fling off. At a certain point, it should have projected you, up and over the pole, but it kind of just stopped you dead.
Yeah, it was very really weird. Like, you sort of lost as soon as you let go. You lost all your momentum of the swing, and you just stop in midair.
Later in the game, I kind of got used to where it worked, and I could do it, but it was still janky.
Yeah, and what else? Yeah, she's got a bow and arrow as well. Pretty standard stuff. She can use a normal bow to kill enemies from a distance, but then she unlocks fire arrows. You can use that to destroy like wooden platforms and stuff like that to obviously like release whatever's above it. I don't think she had any other like unique things to it, did she?
No, that was pretty
at first I thought she was the only one who could do like kick off, like walls and stuff. She jumping, but I found that all three of them can do that, which is interesting.
Oh, another thing about the knight as well, he had a charge. I don't know if you did. I only realised towards the end. If you pressed, I think it was, I can't remember what button it was, but one of them, he like did a charge forward and he just plowed, like if there was a row of enemies,
wasn't that one of the abilities you could unlock?
It probably
was, spend skill points. I remember seeing that for like his sword and shield.
That was good as well. He was really overpowered, especially towards the end of the game when you.
He pretty much like destroyed bosses.
Oh god, yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's that.
Then finally the last one is the wizard. Out of all of them, he's probably like the one with like who honestly can do the most stuff, I reckon, just in like what he was capable of.
I barely used him.
Did you not? As we mentioned it already, like his thing that is like he could create boxes and out of like the way you do it is you hold a button and you're like using the cursor, you basically draw like a square shape and then a box materializes. You can use that box to obviously get out to higher ledges. As we mentioned before, you can use it as like as a weapon if you drop it. Like, cause another one of his abilities, he can like levitate things, can't it? Like you can pick stuff up and move it about to where it needs to go. So if you just lift up this box and move it to where you need to go, or you can use it to just drop it onto enemies' heads, and it usually kills them. At least it did when I played on easy mode. But as you go along, he gets the abilities to he can make like bridges as well, can't it?
Yeah.
Basically, if you just draw like a straight line, it creates like a bridge, which it does what bridges do.
What do bridges do?
It bridges the gap.
That's the right answer. Well done.
Well done.
10 points.
I think I read that he gets another ability where he can create like floating platforms in midair or something like that. But I never got to that bit.
Yeah, that's a triangle. So you draw a triangle.
Right.
It floats. When you jump on it, it slowly starts. Right. You're pushing it down, so you've got to like get off it quick. Not like super quick, but yeah. It kind of made it stupidly easy at that point because you could draw all them in just floating platforms to wherever. Whereas obviously when you draw a square in, it just falls to the floor.
Yeah,
even if you couldn't get a flat bridge platform across, you just put a floating thing in. It just made it really easy.
It does sound. When I read about it, I thought that sounds like it makes the platforming element too easy. Then
yeah, which it did.
But yeah. So yeah, the gist of each game is like trying to combine like all three of these characters together to create trying to figure out a way to how to progress. Really, yeah.
I'd say each level you need a bit of all of them. I'd say mostly combat.
Yeah, like I say, each character can die. Like they can die, but you can carrying on as another character, and you can get the characters back if you get to. It's like a little like glowy checkpoint in it.
Yeah.
The
thief can breathe underwater as well.
Can she?
Yes.
Because I do remember the swimming bit, and I remember swimming in it as a thief, and I'm pretty sure she was losing air.
No, she breathes underwater.
Can she?
Definitely.
How does she breathe underwater?
I don't know, but she did. It might have been an update, one of the upgrades.
Might have been,
but she definitely can breathe underwater.
I might not have noticed. But yeah, going into like the puzzle solving bit and how you use these characters, I personally felt that it did leave things quite open and like up to the player, like how you go about doing this. Like there was multiple ways of doing it. There was not like a set way of doing things.
Yeah, that's my other pet peeve with this game, to be honest, is, I mean, I think it's absolutely fantastic that it leaves you up to figure it out however you want to do it. I felt like it was too easy. Like I feel like they've designed it in a way where you should be doing one thing, but it was so easy to just chuff it and then just like botching some random, because for example, if there's like loads of spikes, you can stick the boxes on the spikes, can't you?
Yeah.
I felt like you could just do that, and then the jump was big enough where you didn't have to build a proper platform anywhere or a proper structure.
Yeah.
And then I looked at some pictures and whatnot online afterwards, and looking into the game and a bit of research and whatnot. And some of the platforms and stuff people were building to get over gaps, and I'm like, that's how it should be. I didn't do anything like that. They had like rows of boxes with bridges across.
Wow.
And I'm like, I didn't feel the need to do that.
No,
anywhere.
I never did. Like I say, that's not the game's fault. It's just you and me it's just you and me not being creative enough.
Well, or just being efficient.
Well, yeah, all of that, yeah. If you thought
it ain't stupid if it works.
Exactly, yeah. If it works, then it ain't dumb. But yeah, that's going back into that's the reason why I ended up playing as the wizard primarily. Because like once I could create because one of his upgrades is that he can create. He only starts off being able to create one box, but one of his upgrades is that he can start creating 2
and 3
and then 3.
Yeah.
And once I got the upgrade to just create 2 boxes, pretty much every puzzle became dead easy then.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then just throw them platforms on top of it as well, then bridges. Like every gap I had to cross was like if the bridge itself wasn't long enough, all I had to do was create a box, stick it on the ledge to the point that it was just sticking over a bit, and then just stick a platform like going up from that box to where I needed to go, and that was it. That was my solution to. I'm probably about like 80% of the puzzles.
Yeah,
but again, that's not the game's fault. It gave me the option to do it.
Oh yeah,
on top of all the other options, but that's the option I chose. But as you said, you could have been a lot more elaborate and creative with how you solve the puzzles, which is good.
But then it's like, what's the point?
Exactly, but
it's kind of on the developer. I'm not saying it in a bad way about the game at all. Like you say, it's what we did, and I like the fact that they've left it open to leave you to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's up to the developer at the end of the day to make it not as easy to be able to do that.
Bear in mind, they have released.
It should be making you push for a bit of a better. It's a bit pointless putting all the physics and everything into it being so good and well built, and then for you to just practically not really use it or break it.
Yeah.
Not really breaking it. You're literally using the physics.
Well, yeah, you're using it for what it was there for.
But yeah. Anyway. It's like at a certain point, again, the spikes and stuff, when there's spikes at walls so you can't jump on the walls, I'd just make one of the flat bridges and I'd stick it against the spikes, not all the way, because you can like move it around the screen, push it in so it's a little bit so the spikes aren't protruding, and then it's a flat wall again.
Yeah.
So I just bounced off it and jumped up.
Yeah, so the option for you to do that was there. Like, you didn't have to do it. You could have just stuck a box right at the top and just use that as a platform rather than as a thing to kick up off.
But yeah. Anyway.
But that's the thing, because it was a physics game, it did sort of make things a bit unpredictable at times. Like sometimes things did not work the way you think they were going to work.
Yeah.
So it ended up either being good or disastrous.
I don't think I ever had too many points where it backfired on me though.
Yeah.
Completely backfired.
No, it's definitely
not. There was bits that didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it should have worked. But it never... Like, I'd never died. I don't think I ever died or anything because of some bad physics. Like falling out or anything.
Yeah, it was usually my fault. Like, like with bosses, obviously, because I took too much damage and stuff like that, or because I mistimed the jump and I ended up falling instead. It's just stuff like that. It was never because like I built something and then it collapsed on me.
I think one of the big points, good points about it, is how fluid and smooth all the animations and the switching between the characters.
Yeah, definitely. Like as a platformer, it is very like all the elements are there to make a good platformer. Like
even if you just stick with one character, no matter who they are, obviously there's like the knight's a bit slower than the thief and whatnot, but even still, they all felt really smooth, and whatever animations and actions they actually did, like attacking or like the swinging on the it all felt really.
It still felt a bit weird to me that all three of them had the exact same jump height. Like I felt like it might have made a bit more sense to have like the thief as like the big jumper.
I felt the wizard was the biggest jumper.
Yeah,
because when there was a point where I couldn't get up something, I always switched to him to get up a bit. And for some reason, he seemed to just
jump higher.
Yeah, it must be that magic levitating and shit.
But then again, saying that though, because the characters can die, if you had one character who could jump higher than the other, if that character was dead, you'd be screwed. You have to go back and get. So it's probably as silly as it seems from like a immersion kind of sense. Gameplay wise, it's a lot less stressful that making all the characters just be able to jump at the same height.
Yeah, there were some bits where there was like a lot of enemies, and from a previous battle, I had only a little bit of health on the knight, so he died straight away, and then I was left with the thief and the wizard to try and fight all. And yeah, that's not good.
No,
that didn't work. But yeah, it managed. Even if they all die, though, it puts you back to the last checkpoint, which is never too far away.
No, it is very generous with its checkpoints.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Like with the bosses, it always has a checkpoint right in the room.
Yeah.
So if you're fighting with the knight, which is what I did with the two bosses, I fought that giant skeleton and that it was like an ogre with like like them crystals on his back.
Yeah, and you've got to hit the crystals.
Yeah. But even when the knight died, all you had to do was change to the thief, jump up to the checkpoint, and boom, the knight was alive again. So the bosses felt that's one of the points is like the bosses were too easy.
Not even that. I think the first one I come across, obviously, it was like, all right, I'll try and be careful, and they're really awkward to fight those crystal back.
Yeah.
You can't get to them. I kind of just winged it. Like as they attacked, I just jumped and just swung like a madman, and
that's what I did. Yeah.
But the first time, all of my three characters died. And I'm sure, even when it restarted, the health was still the same.
The boss's health?
Yeah. And then I got all the heroes back. Oh, yeah. So it literally meant nothing.
That's what I mean. But because they had that checkpoint itself in the room,
exactly,
where you can bring the characters back to life, it made any challenge on them two bosses pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, it was a bit of a waste.
It was just, like I said, all it came down to was just swinging wildly as the knight. There might have been a much cooler, efficient way of doing it, like with the wizard or the thief. There probably was a much more elaborate way of doing it, but again...
I feel like there was no way of properly dodging his attack either, when he smashed down.
Yeah, because you couldn't block it either.
No, the shield didn't work. Because that was what I was doing straight away. There was nothing really to repel around either, to try and get up high, which probably would have been my next go-to, but I don't think there was anything to repel on.
I thought at first you had to draw boxes and have it drop onto his crystal, which might have worked. I never tried it. I never felt like I had enough time to draw a box and do it.
I think on PC, with a mouse, I think you probably could draw quick enough, but with an analog stick, it was a bit slow actually drawing summoning the boxes and stuff.
That's one good point I have, is that they were very generous when it came to drawing the boxes. You never had to draw like a perfect square shape.
Yeah.
Because I played on the controller. What I ended up drawing it was like a cross between like a triangle and a pentagon. But it still created a box, which is good because it wasn't annoying or anything. It was just a nice quality of life thing that you didn't have to draw like a perfect, a square to get your box.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I thought that a few times as well. I'm like, oh, that's not gonna.
Especially like you said, in like moments where you really need a box quick before you're gonna die.
I think my only problem with it is that obviously if you do like a small square, it does a small box.
Yeah.
And that was the only problem when you're trying to do something quick, and it's like you're trying to draw a big box. It's like, I've not got time for this, but I do need it.
Like I say, drawing a bridge is dead easy. So I was literally just a line.
Yeah.
And I never got to the floating platforms, but I imagine just doing the triangles was just... Was there ever a point where you tried to draw a box, but you accidentally drew a platform instead?
No, I don't think so, but you get the floating platform quite late on.
Yeah.
So there weren't that many places I used it, to be honest.
No, right.
Which is a shame.
That's another bad point. Not that there's many, but this one was quite a thingy, that... The variety of enemies was very low. There was not that many.
Yeah, they're all the same pretty much.
There was basic skeleton with shields,
And the arrows.
Arrows, the fire-breathing skeleton.
Oh, yeah, that one.
That's, good old skeleton. No, that's 4. And then there's the spider. Them spiders that shoot poison at you.
Yeah, they were boring.
And then the 2 bosses, and that's pretty much throughout like 8 chapters of the game that I got to, that I ended up fighting. So in terms of variety, not that combat's a big, like, but in terms of like the challenge that they brought to how you traverse things, there wasn't that much.
Yeah, I think the only time it was, I'd say challenging, not really challenging, but the most challenge it was, apart from the bosses that just seemed a bit just silly design-wise, was when there was just a lot of enemies to attack and they were coming from both sides.
Yeah.
I think that was the only real challenge with enemies. Or if there's one archer somewhere while you're trying to fight a few.
Like an awkward position.
Yeah, so it's like you're trying to kill them and then you're trying to shield from the arrow at the same time, but then they swing. But even still, it weren't really.
Like I say, but then they throw like environmental like traps and stuff into it, which brings a bit more of a uniqueness to it. Like you could be in you could suddenly fall, like a bridge could suddenly get cut and you'd fall down. And then there'd be like 2 fireballs on, like from both sides. Yeah. But there'd also be like an archer shooting at you as well. So there is moments where it does create a bit of like tension.
Yeah.
But like I said, because the variety is that low, like it doesn't really bring much to like make you think like, okay, how's this enemy gonna change things? That's another thing about the enemies. They could jump high, them enemies.
Oh God,
they were so capable of reaching you wherever you were.
They were a bit. I'm going to say they're a bit stupid. I'm not expecting like amazing AI in a side
puzzle game.
Like sometimes they'd jump, something would be there and they'd slip and they'd just fall straight down into like some spikes or something. Like,
there was one bit where it was like I had them like poison lakes, like the water.
Oh yeah.
I remember at first, like I jumped on this platform and 2 enemies came from the side, but both, I don't know if it was to showcase like what would happen if you fell in, but they both jumped into, like they missed the platform and they fell into the poison. Again, it might have been deliberate to show what happens, but it's pretty obvious if you touch the green bubbly water, it was going to kill you. That's another thing as well. Like each level had like its own like unique element to it that added a bit more variety to things. Like there was one level that had like falling rocks that would keep coming down every now and then. There was one with the poison water and the torches that you had to light up to provide the way.
Those goddamn fucking falling things.
They always came at the worst time, didn't they?
Like there'd be a button on the floor somewhere and you go, obviously you see a button, you're gonna press it,
yeah.
So you press it and then it drops like a load of spiked balls on your head. And if you're not the knight and you can't get your shield up quick enough,
you're screwed basically.
Yeah.
But like I said, I
pretty much just walked around with my shield up all the time.
But because it gave these like unique things per level, it was always like every time you started a level, it was always like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to get this time, rather than okay, let's just get it over with.
Yeah,
it's like expecting the same stuff because there was a bit of an element of surprise to each level, so that was always a good thing. Just one more thing, because I think I might have mentioned this already, but because it's physics based, sometimes there wasn't a clear sense of weight to like some things. If you get what I mean. Like you could like there was so there were some boxes like you couldn't gauge like how, because sometimes you had to put the box on top of like a platform which would move it down, but you can never gauge how fast, like because there was like different sized boxes, you can never gauge like how different speed like each thing would move at, if that makes sense. It might just be me.
I didn't notice that, to be honest.
No, it was probably just me then. Like nothing felt like it had a sense of like.
Everything was the same weight, essentially.
Yeah, that's what I ended up realising halfway through anyway, so...
Yeah, no, I mean, I've not played the other one, so it might be something
Yeah, again, we've not touched the other ones yet, so all these little picky things that we're coming up with, they might have been sorted out in the sequels.
Like you said, though, they made this as a side project.
Oh, yeah.
So, and obviously it's done well, they might have in the next 2 and 3, and obviously 4's coming.
Yeah. I know Trine 3 that had like proper full 3D to it as well.
What did it?
Like it has like 3D, but it's still 2D side scrolling. Right. But the 2D's gone more like 2.5.
Right.
But then it has moments where it's like the camera turns around, where it's like a full 3D. Yeah. So it's they've obviously stepped up the game.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me gameplay wise.
Yeah, that's
like considering it's such a short game, there is quite a lot to talk about, really, which is surprising me.
Because it's really well built.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I know I've said something about like, I'm pointing out the bad things about it, but even the bad things weren't really. They weren't that much of a problem.
No.
I'm just being really nitpicky, to be honest.
That's it. Yeah, we got to mention these things. We can't just talk about the good things all the time.
But overall, I think I had a lot of fun with it.
I did. It's like I'm actually surprised I didn't play this sooner. To be honest, it's
really
good.
I've played the second one, and I don't know. I thought I'd played this one, and then when I started it, I'm like, I don't remember this.
Yeah,
but I've definitely played like an hour of one of them, and I think it's the second one. I think I must have got it on PS Plus or something at some point, and it's always been on my PlayStation there, and I think I flicked it on a few times. But now I've played this one completely, I'm definitely going to play the rest.
There you go then. I know they added a lot more stuff to the second one as well, so it's going to be even better. Yeah,
and then the fourth one's coming, so I've got that to look forward to now as well. So yeah, I'm yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up from me. But yeah, I just remember then that's another thing we didn't mention because it's got co-op to it. Because you and I both played as a single player.
Yeah.
Because as you play as co-op, you can control 3 different characters at the same time.
Yeah.
So it would change up the gameplay quite a bit, being able to use 2 different things at the same time rather than individually as we had to do.
Yeah, I'm not saying... I tried getting Mrs. to play co-op with me, just so I could... Obviously then we'd have a few different points to talk about it, different perspective and whatnot. I couldn't bother waiting, I just wanted to play it. But... I did look online what other people were saying, and I saw someone saying 2 is good. You've still got that person to switch between and whatnot. Saying if there's 3, it seems overcrowded because you have the puzzles where you can like wing it with one character. Say you build like a bit of scaffolding with the wizard, you jump up to a point, and then you can switch to the thief and rappel to whatever you're trying to get to when you're within range. If you've got 3, you can't really do that.
No.
Because you're only going to get the thief up there. The wizard's still got to get up. The knight's still got to get up. So you've got to build something proper to actually get up. So in a way, it's probably better.
It does change
in terms of
up.
platforming, because you've got to really think about how you're getting through certain levels, and you can't really wing it like you can if you're on your own. So yeah, but apparently, 3. Somebody said 3's overcrowded.
I imagine with 3, it'd be pretty boring as the knight though, especially when you got nothing to fight. You just kind of sat there, just waiting to see the other 2 people to do their thing.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, so 2's probably optimal.
2 probably the mind, but yeah.
We should have done it. Why did we not do it?
Because we're stupid, aren't we?
Goddamn. Well, you started it this morning, so that's...
Well, there you go then, yeah. If you only offered me co-op, I would have played it sooner.
I didn't... there you go.
Because with playing these old games, there's not really a chance to like look at the multiplayer or like co-op side of things, unless it's like couch co-op, isn't it? Because like all the servers are shut down now.
It's not too bad on PC. There's normally...
No, yeah. There's normally sometimes...
Normally a way around it, one way or another, but yeah, on console. Saying that, it's still selling like a lot. And it's the enhanced edition anyway. It's recent in terms of online capabilities with it, but we should have done that. You fucking waste of space.
We don't play games together, we just fucking solo everything.
Yeah. That's it really, to be honest. That's all I've got to say about it. Story, gameplay, visuals,
performance, bit of history.
It's all brilliant.
It's all good, yes. Like I said, every bad thing we mentioned is literally nothing that takes away from the experience of the game.
No.
I can't really think of much gameplay-wise like these days to compare it to. So,
I'd say if you're looking for a side-scrolling game that's more about puzzles and I don't know. If you want something like this that's less combat, I'd say stuff like Limbo or Inside. They are the absolute pinnacle.
Pinnacle, wow.
Inside scrolling, like just a genre, I think they are just unreal.
Not even what's that time control one called? Side scroller. We talked about it the other week. Guy who made The Witness made it.
Oh, Braid.
Braid, that's it. Yeah,
I've never played it.
Braid. Oh, I played Braid. It was so good. But that was more.
I bought it thinking we was going to do it.
Yeah,
because it was 10 years at the beginning of this year. I thought I'll buy it just in case because I want to play it anyway. It is on my list, but yeah, I can't comment on that one.
Oh, there you go then.
But Limbo and Inside is fucking phenomenal. Have you played it?
Inside? Yeah. Is that the one where I don't want to spoil it, but he ends up turning into this weird thing. Yeah, it's the one, yeah.
Oh, it's so good, that game, man. I need to play that.
Limbo was really good. Like, some bits in Limbo, like, it was so, like, oh my god, what is happening? Like they utilise, like, Did you play Limbo yet?
Yeah.
It came out a while ago. We can talk about spoilers.
Yeah.
Limbo spoilers if you don't want to play it. Like that bit when that frigging massive spider got you, that was so good. Like, because you start walking through that web, don't you?
Yeah,
you start getting slower and slower and slower. And the next thing you know, there's giant spider. It's like such a good use of like using like environments, like just add a bit of story to it. It's like,
it really bugs me how they take so long. Well, they took so long doing inside. It doesn't bode well for how long they're going to take for the next. Because they're obviously working on another.
Oh yeah.
And I hope they don't leave what they've done. I hope they stick with literally the side-scrolling world building, atmospheric thing that they do, because it's like they've got something.
No, they really
absolutely
know how to nail it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that. If you're more into puzzles and stuff like that, I'd recommend that.
Yeah, you can recommend pretty much any side-scrolling puzzle game. The only unique thing, like for Trine, is that it has that combat and like the switching back and forth between different characters. Really.
Yeah, no, I can't. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Trine.
Go on.
Did you ever play? Now we're going back. Did you ever play The Lost Vikings?
No.
Oh, you fucking waste of space.
I've never even heard of it.
I absolutely loved that game as a kid. And it's essentially same thing. You play as like 3 Vikings. I think it was 3. Yeah, you play as 3 Vikings. That's it. There you go. He's looking.
All right.
Have you never seen it?
No.
It was an old one.
Oh wow.
It was like I think it was what platforms was it on here? Let's have a quick look.
Just
SNES,
yeah.
Sega. I think I played it on Sega. I was a Sega boy.
I'm not gonna lie, my first console I ever played was a Genesis. So
I think it was more Sega over here. I think Nintendo was bigger in America.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was every kid's
got it,
choice.
I don't even think we got NES over here, did we? It was very limited.
Yeah,
in America,
we definitely had it, but it was not. As you said, it was not as well known over here as it was in America.
The SNES or SNES for anyone American. The SNES was it's SNES. Stop it. I'm arguing with people that I
haven't even listening.
But yeah, I think that's when it took off over here properly.
And then fucking PlayStation came out and it changed from there.
But if you know what Lost Vikings is, it's pretty much a modern day version of that.
Not a modern day version, you mean? Oh, you mean Trine's a modern day version? Yeah.
Trine's a modern day version of Lost Vikings.
I thought you were saying Lost Vikings is a modern day version.
Lost Vikings was brilliant, man. Oh, I'm going to try and get that somewhere.
You can probably get it on like a digital version of it somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm getting an emulator of that.
But I think that's it.
Nothing else. I mean, there's so many side scrollers now to recommend.
Oh yeah, many.
The market's
like not even these days. Like back in the day, there were so many. Like that was like with Mario and Sonic. That was the big thing of like side scrolling stuff, like genre wise. Before first person shooters took over.
Yep.
But yeah, would definitely recommend it. It's a really good game.
10 out of 10. Would buy again.
10 out of 10.
It's definitely not 10 out of 10. I don't know why I said that.
It's more like a 9.5. No, for what it is, for such a little, like, what was originally a side project, it's really good.
I'm thoroughly looking forward to playing the rest.
Yeah, same here.
Definitely.
I've got the second one, not got the third one, but after playing this, I would definitely.
And they're on the
I've got to finish the first one first.
They're on the Switch as well.
I do know. Oh yeah, that's the console to play it on.
Because I nearly bought it on the Switch, but I thought it's on Steam sale.
Steam, yeah.
Fucking no, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Nice little. Considering it's such a short game, we managed to get quite a fair bit out of this.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised actually.
So as usual, thank you for sticking with us for all this insane rambling of ours.
Hopefully, this episode will sound a bit better as well, especially over last month.
Especially compared to the last one. Jesus Christ, we thought the first episode was bad. Good God.
Yeah, I'd not even listened to it back. I edited some bits out, and I was like, "Yeah,
I've listened to a good chunk of it. And it's not as bad as we think it is."
Right. Okay.
Then again, no one's given feedback about it yet, so it can't be too bad.
I know. Well, no one gave us feedback for any others either.
Well, yeah, we did. No, there's been a couple, but it's mainly been from like family.
Yeah, or people people we know.
We know. That's what I mean. I want to hear what you strangers think. What do you think, random stranger number one? I really want to know what you think.
So yeah, if you actually want to tell us, you can find us on Twitter at The Decade Parade.
Come join the cool gang in our Facebook group. Yeah.
Is there anybody in there?
Just this cool cat right here. And when I'm there, it's always a party.
Somebody actually said, "Are we taking recommendations for things to play in the future?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." And then I didn't get any recommendations.
That's what I mean. We need more people to listen to start doing stuff like that.
And I know you're listening. I know you're listening. Give us some recommendations. No, but seriously, that's one thing that we said from like when we first started talking about doing this.
Yeah, like what we're going to do in the future.
If people actually start listening instead of us just picking the games, we'll probably handpick a few that we consider and then stick it up somewhere, Twitter, on a poll or wherever, and then let people pick whatever we play.
Yeah, that's
as long as it's not like the 200-hour RPG.
RPG one, yeah, or like the game that you can only get for like £100 or something.
Yeah, like we had to buy a whole new system
for it. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's just thinking into the future. But right now, I think what we've got is, I say it's working.
Adequate.
It's adequate. It does the job, I guess.
Yes. Anyway, that's that. Anyway, we've covered everything, haven't we? Give us a like, subscribe, leave us a review on iTunes, give us that 5 stars.
Sweet 5 stars.
Sweet 5 stars. And on that note, I will say goodbye.
And it's time to say goodbye. Fading out.